Have you ever wondered if a simple prayer could change everything? What if one heartfelt wish from a child could bring a billionaire to his knees? This is the story of how a little girl, Lassie's prayer for a father for just one day led to a miracle no one saw coming. In a quiet corner of a humble church, a 6-year-old girl named Lila knelt, her small hands clasped tightly together. Tears streamed down her cheeks, soaking the collar of her worn dress. "Dear God," she whispered, her voice trembling, "everyone at school has a daddy for Father's Day. They're all bringing their daddies to the school play tomorrow. Please, please, just for one day, could you give me a daddy too?" At that exact moment, the heavy church doors creaked open. A man in an expensive suit walked in, his shoulders slumped with a weight far heavier than any business deal. This was Ethan Cole, a billionaire whose vast fortune couldn't fill the emptiness in his heart. 3 years ago, he had lost his wife and their unborn child in a tragic accident, and since then, his world had been shrouded in grief. He came to the church seeking a moment of peace, a brief escape from the crushing silence of his mansion. As he walked down the aisle, he heard the faint sound of a child's sob. He followed the sound to Lila, whose small body shook with each desperate plea. Her innocent words, "Please give me a daddy," pierced through the walls he had built around his heart. Without thinking, he knelt beside her and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "It's okay," he said softly, his voice thick with emotion. Lila looked up, her tear-filled eyes widening in surprise. Seeing a kind, well-dressed man beside her, she didn't see a stranger. In her innocent heart, she saw the answer to her prayer. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice filled with hopeful disbelief. Ethan's heart stopped. The word, a word he thought he'd never hear, echoed in the empty church. He couldn't bring himself to shatter her hope. He looked into her shining eyes and saw a glimmer of the family he had lost. A promise he never intended to make escaped his lips. "Yes," he heard himself say. "I'll be there. I'll come to your play tomorrow." The next day, the school hall buzzed with the excited chatter of children and their proud fathers. But for Lila, the morning was filled with taunts. "Lila's a liar," a boy named Sam jeered. "She doesn't have a daddy." Lila's eyes welled with tears as she stood alone, her little costume feeling heavy on her shoulders. Her teacher offered a sympathetic glance, knowing Lila's mother, Clara, was a single parent. Just as the play was about to begin, the doors to the hall swung open. Everyone turned to see Ethan Cole standing there, dressed in an impeccable suit, his presence commanding the room's attention. He scanned the crowd, his eyes landing on Lila. He walked straight to her, his expression a mixture of determination and tenderness. He knelt down, ignoring the stunned silence and 100 pairs of eyes. "I'm so sorry I'm almost late," he said, his voice carrying across the quiet hall. Then he stood up, looked directly at the children who had been teasing her, and declared with a powerful, unwavering voice, "I am Lila's father." A collective gasp swept through the room. Sam's jaw dropped. Lila's face, which had been streaked with tears, now lit up with a smile so bright it could have outshone the stage lights. During the play, she kept glancing at Ethan, who watched her with an adoration that felt more real than anything he had felt in years. He wasn't just keeping a promise. He was living a dream he thought had died forever. But the beautiful moment was about to be shattered. Just as the play ended, and Lila ran towards Ethan shouting, "Daddy!" a panicked voice cut through the applause. "Lila, get away from him!" It was Clara, Lila's mother. She had rushed to the school after a neighbor told her a strange man had been seen with her daughter. Seeing Lila in the arms of a wealthy stranger sent a wave of terror through her. "Who are you? What do you want with my child?" she demanded, her eyes wide with fear and anger. She grabbed Lila's arm, pulling her away. "Mommy, no! That's my daddy!" Lila cried, reaching back for Ethan. Her desperate cries tore at Ethan's heart. He tried to explain, to tell Clara it was all a misunderstanding, but she wouldn't listen. She dragged a sobbing Lila out of the hall, leaving Ethan standing alone, the word "daddy" still echoing in his ears. The brief warmth he had felt was replaced by an aching, familiar cold. That night, Ethan returned to his vast, empty home. He walked past the pristine living rooms and silent hallways, his footsteps echoing the emptiness inside him. He found himself standing before a door he hadn't opened in 3 years. The nursery. He pushed it open, and the sight of the untouched crib and tiny, dust-covered toys overwhelmed him. He collapsed to the floor, the grief he had suppressed for so long finally breaking through. He wasn't just crying for his lost wife and child. He was crying for Lila. He was crying for the feeling of being daddy, a feeling that had been stolen from him twice. He realized that the little girl's prayer hadn't just been for her. It had been for him too. She had awakened a part of him he thought was gone forever. Meanwhile, in their small, modest apartment, Clara tried to comfort a still crying Lila. "He was a stranger, honey. We can't trust strangers," she explained, her own heart heavy with conflict. She had seen the man's elegant suit and the expensive car he drove away in, but she had also seen the look in his eyes as he watched Lila, a look of pure, genuine love. Was he a threat? Or had she just ripped her daughter away from a moment of pure happiness? Her protective instincts warred with the undeniable kindness she had witnessed. A few days passed. To make extra money, Clara took on a weekend cleaning job at a large corporate office building. She brought Lila along, giving her some crayons and paper to keep her occupied in a quiet corner of a large, empty office. As Lila was drawing, she looked up and saw a picture frame on the massive desk. Her eyes went wide. She ran out of the office and down the hallway, calling for her mother. "Mommy, Mommy, come quick!" Clara rushed to see what was wrong, and Lila pointed excitedly into the office. "It's him, Mommy! It's my daddy's office!" Clara's heart pounded in her chest. She cautiously entered the room and looked at the desk. There, next to a photo of a smiling woman, was a picture of the man from the school, and on a golden plaque on the desk were the words, "Ethan Cole, CEO," her boss, the man who owned the entire building. Just then, the elevator doors opened, and Ethan Cole himself stepped out. He had come to the office to retrieve some files, but he froze when he saw them. His eyes met Clara's, then fell to Lila, who was now hiding behind her mother's legs, peeking out at him. Seeing them together, seeing the sincere, hopeful look on Ethan's face, Clara's anger began to melt away. He wasn't a predator. He was just a man her daughter had called Daddy. A man who looked at Lila with an expression of profound tenderness and longing. "Please," Ethan said, his voice soft and pleading, his heart hammering in his chest. "Please don't run. Just give me 5 minutes. That's all I ask. 5 minutes to explain everything." He looked from Clara's conflicted face to Lila's curious one, praying this miraculous reunion wasn't just another fleeting dream, but the beginning of a second chance for a lonely man, a struggling mother, and a little girl who just wanted a daddy. Thank you so much for watching until the very end of this story. We hope it brought a little warmth to your heart. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales. May God bless you.